Hello and welcome to our channel Marstream, your public performance broadcast platform. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. You can also donate to our tip jar and support the arts and artists of Marstream by clicking the link below in the description. Check out our website, themarsh.org, for all upcoming live performances. Now, enjoy the show.
Now let's welcome your host for Solo Arts Heal, Rick Davis.
Good evening, everybody, and I am really delighted to be back, especially for this particular performance. A few of you have been here before. You know a little bit about Ancan. We are a nonprofit that provides advocacy, navigation, and support, and we largely do that through virtual video chat support groups. And we've been doing this since about 2010 and with video chat since 2015. So we were not newcomers when COVID arrived. And we like to think that we are the source of best practices. Tonight, I am really honored and truly happy to welcome a buddy of mine, Jimmy Greenfield, who breezed, well, not exactly breezed, I would say he gusted into Ancan's world around 6 months ago. Jimmy was recovering from cancer surgery. We'll maybe talk a little bit more about that. And he was living with significant side effects. And we have been working with Jimmy to just to improve his overall health, to navigate him a little bit, and he does a pretty good job all by himself. Now, what I think you're going to find, I know I found this, is that Jimmy is a whirlwind of urban spirit. He's the original WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. He's from DC. He was born and raised in DC. Jimmy's been performing for 35 years, and he's been teaching for about 17 of those privately and in local schools. He plays all type of music, from classical rock, from classical guitar to rock and to jazz. He plays currently with a band called Film at 11. And he's got a bunch of albums. In fact, if you go to greenfieldguitar.com, you will find some of those albums, and you can, if you haven't heard enough by the end of this evening, and I doubt you will, you'll be able to hear a lot more of Jimmy on his website. Jimmy, he told me, has been singing since he was a toddler. And if you don't believe me, I want you to check out this pics that you're just about to see. Who that man? Who that cute kid? Jimmy, who is that cute kid? And can you tell us a little bit about how you came to be a musician and a performer as early as 6 years old?
Sure, Rick. Thank you for your kind introduction. And it's a great honor to be here. I'll be as short as possible with this. My mother was a reformed classical piano player as a teenager and young woman. She escaped into the world of jazz and some freedom she found from that. She never played it, but she enjoyed it her whole life. And from the time I was a very small boy, she played it all the time in the house, and she took me to shows. And Washington, D.C., when I was a little boy, was still had a pretty thriving jazz scene. There are some very famous jazz musicians that are from Washington, D.C. Duke Ellington and Billie Holiday are just a few. And so she instilled the love of it in me because I loved her so much. And one of the shows she took me to was the Mills Brothers, and they were my heroes. And I knew all the songs, and I was singing along, and they spotted me in the audience and called me to the stage to sing a song with them, which is just unbelievable. I mean, just imagine any of your greatest heroes and being asked to come up there. You know, it was an unforgettable experience, and the picture was, of course, helps to keep it in my memory. So from that point on, I continued to love that music, but like a lot of young boys, once I reached about, well, I'll give away my age, but when I turned like 10 or 11, there was a seismic shift in popular music, mostly responsible from the land that Rick comes from, Great Britain. And in that tsunami of popular music known as the British invasion and a lot of other stuff that came with it, I forgot all about jazz for a while. And like a lot of kids, I had to play the guitar. I had to play rock and roll. I used to tune into the Ed Sullivan Show on 8 o'clock every Sunday night. And when I saw the Beatles and the Kinks and these other groups on there, they were playing this incredible clothes, this incredible music. And all the girls were passing out from excitement and being taken to the hospital. So I knew that this was something I needed to investigate more thoroughly. So I don't know about all that I got to investigate of it, but I certainly did, pursue the passion of playing the guitar and of playing music and singing, and continued. And so really the way I end up here tonight, of course, is because I was treated for prostate cancer and had the good fortune to meet Rick and some of the other people at Ancan. But I also came around once my mom died in 2009, and she always wanted me to play more of the old music that I grew up with her. And I never really did learn very much of it, just a few songs, and she'd always asked for them, and I always said I was going to learn more. And then, of course, as sometimes sadly as fate has it, once she died, a little few years later, I thought, man, I really want to get back into this music. I really want to play it. I want to perform it. I want it to be a part of my life. So I got back into it sort of in her honor. And that led to me making a record of the a recording of the music, full length, and of doing more of it. And for the past few years, I have been playing it in assisted living homes and senior centers. I did that thinking that these people would remember the music, but in truth, it was their parents' music. It's so old, so that's okay. It has enduring appeal to this day. The music of Tin Pan Alley, pretty much 1920 to 1950. And all the good standards that too numerous to mention that came out of there. Such great melody, such harmony, such performing. Just always be close to my heart. So here we are.
Jimmy, when I listened to some of those tracks on your website, I heard you mention Satchmo and Dixieland.
Yeah.
I've got two questions here. Number one is, who were the performers that really inspired you beyond the Mills Brothers? And how many instruments do you play? And do you play them all at one time? Because I see so many guitars behind you.
No, I'm a guitar player, and I pretty much that and the ukulele, which I've become very fond of, and that's all I'm going to play tonight is the ukulele. And the ukulele has a great history in jazz. And when I found that out, it made me very interested in trying to play some of it on that instrument. So I play the guitar, I play the bass guitar a little bit, and I play the ukulele. And those are the only instruments I play. I don't play any of them at the same time, you funny man. But I do, I can say that when I was a tiny boy, not only the Mills Brothers, but there were, relative lightweights like Danny Kaye and Matt Monroe and these other people that my mom listened to that I loved. There was these novelty songs like How Much Is That Little Doggy in the Window and stuff like that. But there was also the substantial music of Fletcher Henderson and Count Basie, and of course Billie Holiday and Ella Fitzgerald and Sarah Vaughan, and Bobby Darin was also one of my favorites. And my mom took me to one of his shows too, and he was definitely not as enamored with me as the Mills Brothers were. Not throwing any shade at Bobby Darin.
But let me just say, could you accompany me for How Much Is That Doggy on the Window, do you think?
I don't think so. I think
okay.
It's long lost.
Okay. Jimmy, enough said, enough talk. Okay. We want to listen to you. Could you play us your first set?
All right, then.
Thank you.
I'll start with 3 songs. And the first of those 3 was written by Eddie DeLange and Louis Alter. 1947 is when it first appeared in a movie called New Orleans. And we were just talking about Satchmo and Billie Holiday. And in this movie, if you've ever seen it, I don't know that a lot of people have, but it is called New Orleans. And in the movie, Louis Armstrong and his band are playing it, and Billie Holiday sings it. It's a very beloved, for a reason, jazz standard, of the most beloved of all geographical places, jazz-wise, in the country, of course, is New Orleans. And the song is called Do You Know What It Means to Miss New Orleans? Do you know what it means to miss New Orleans and miss it each night and day? I know I'm not wrong, this feeling's getting stronger the longer I stay away. I miss the moss-covered vines, the tall sugar pines, where mockingbirds used to sing. And I'd like to see that lazy Mississippi a-hurrying into spring. Oh, moonlight on the bayou, a Creole tune that fills the air. I dream of oleanas in June, and soon I'm wishing that I was there. Do you know what it means to miss New Orleans? 'Cause that's where you left your heart. And there's something more, well, I miss the one I care for more than I miss New Orleans. I'm going to thank you all, even though I can't hear or see anybody in this wonderful. I hope it's the last streaming performance of all time. I guess it probably isn't. My second song here is it's coming up. I got a little helper here. It's my looper. These are guitar tracks that I made myself, though, so at least I'm only cheating a little bit. I don't have to pay this guy. This song is by Billy Mayhew from 1935. It's called It's a Sin to Tell a Lie. It's been recorded by many, many people. Ooh, yeah. Be sure it's true when you say I love you. It's a sin to tell a lie. Millions of hearts have been broken just because these words were spoken. I love you, yes I do, I love you. If you break my heart, I'll die. So be sure that it's true when you say I love you. It's a sin to tell a lie. That's right now. I love you, yes I do, I love you. If you break my heart, I'll die. So be sure that it's true when you say I love you. It's a sin to tell a lie. It's a sin to tell a lie, just like say on Sunday. It's a sin to tell a lie.
Yay! Love it, Jimmy.
Thank you. I'll play one more, and then we'll talk a little bit more, I guess.
Yeah.
And one of the jazz musicians that has the most, I have the most in common with, is Johnny Mercer. And Johnny Mercer was a lyricist mostly, and he is known for writing the lyrics to many, many, many famous songs. Moon River, The Days of Wine and Roses, just Autumn Leaves, so many. But he also wrote music, and he wrote the words and the music to this song, a beautiful, simple song. Johnny Mercer, I just want to say, he grew up in Savannah, Georgia, and he was able to, he was in white society growing up, but he was able to go and see black shows in churches and what they called in those days coon shows, where all of a lot of the best black musicians would play. And so he was exposed to it very, very early. And it was the same thing that happened to me. In my family, we had African-American maids who migrated up from the Carolinas. And one of them that lived with us for a time that I loved especially, her name was Bertha. And Bertha would take me to Southeast Washington to Baptist Church when I was that same size that you see in the photo. And that was a lot of exposure to some really, really great music that I was just pure serendipity that I was able to experience it then. So this is again a song by Johnny Mercer, words and music, and it's called Dream. I'm having a technical issue, sorry. Here it is. Dream when you're feeling blue. Dream, that's the thing to do. Just let the smoke rings rise in the air. You'll find your share of memories there. So dream when the day is through. Dream and they might come true. Things never are as bad as they seem. So dream, dream, dream. Dream when the day is through. Dream and they might come true. You never know. Things never are as bad as they seem. So dream, dream, dream.
Beautiful, Jimmy. Beautiful. And I love Johnny Mercer. I love what he does with words, how he puns and how he plays with words. It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Thank you.
So let's get maybe to the meat of the discussion, which is tell us how performing has either supported or subtracted from your health, and what role performing has played to this point for you?
You know, it's an odd thing with me because I was diagnosed with prostate cancer in early 2019. And then as the year progressed and I went through the surgery in June and then started an aggressive clinical trial in the fall of 2019, the real onset of these side effects from the treatment, which I think it's fascinating that, first of all, that, in what's my condition was called oligometastatic, which is sort of a middle ground between small volume contained and the more serious metastatic cancers. This didn't used to be treated as aggressively as it is now often. So this clinical trial I was in, which I jokingly call the kitchen sink, and they gave me a lot of treatment. And so that treatment, I was very fortunate to be able to go on a vacation with my wife in December of 19 to New Zealand. And I was feeling good then, and I came back. And just about the time that I had a radiation in February, I was starting to feel pretty beat up. But my band was doing shows. And so I was playing shows both in late 19 and in very early 2020, I think. And I just remember it almost like a haze. I mean, I was very, very tired a lot of the time. I was very, I had various physical issues at the time. But playing, it's like my arthritis. I got arthritis in both my thumbs because I've been playing the guitar for 55 years. But I always say, any of old guys that have, or women too, that have, ailments, what we do is you turn up the radio, you put the top down, and you step on the gas. And when I'm in it, when I'm on stage, or when I'm really, in the middle of it, I didn't feel a thing. And sometimes after I was done, I was like, I got to pack up now. I got to drive home. Then I was, really, really exhausted. But that could happen anyway. But I found that not only was it always inspiring to play for others, but it was also inspiring to continue to teach during that time. And that means a lot to me, what I've been able to do teaching. I've had a really good experience with that. So yeah, the music has always been inspiring. It's always come with. It's always been a really valuable part of my life. And never has it come in more handy than it does in times like these.
So, Jimmy, was that true even when you were a teenager and a young adult? I mean, did you have health issues then, and did it help you, or what was its role when you were growing up?
I had mental health issues. I had to be honest, I had a great affection for drugs and alcohol. So that kind of blunted a lot of progress that I might have made career-wise. It blunted progress I might have made musically, although I did play a lot. I practiced a lot, but inevitably that is a downhill run if you're an addict the way I was. And so, right around 30 years old is when I was able to get out of that life and was blessed by meeting some people and getting into an organization that helped me very much there and has continued to help me and be a big part of my life. But yeah, I mean, it was always the thing that sustained me in the worst times. I mean, there was times when I was very, very down, homeless, didn't know where my next meal was coming from, really quite ill. But I always seemed to have a guitar with me. And sometimes I was living in a car and sometimes I was living on the park bench. But it was the old guitar, one sort or another, I was never without one. And I was never without music around me. And it did sustain me through some very tough times. So good, bad, and ugly, it's always been there.
I just want to invite the audience, if you've got any questions for Jimmy on anything from jazz and classical guitar to what the weather's like in DC right now, we'll field them and we'll ask him. And Jimmy, I'd really like to hear some more music. That was just so great. So how about that second set?
Okay, I got 3 more for you. This is a lot of fun. I've been looking forward to this, I'll tell you. Okay, This is the oldest of the songs that I'm going to play for you tonight. It's from 1927, so it is pretty far back there. And I'd say a little something about this song. It was written by the lyrics by a guy named Gus Kahn, and he wrote many, many song lyrics. It Had to Be You, Making Whoopee, Dream a Little Dream of Me, I'll See You in My Dreams, You Walked Out of a Dream, a lot of dream songs. But also Richard Whiting wrote the music, and it was typical of a lot of songs that there was a kind of a craze back in the 20s and 30s of New York songwriters mostly writing nostalgically about the islands and Hawaii and hula girls and ukuleles and stuff. And a lot of them never left New York, but you know they were very skilled at waxing nostalgic about missing it. And I think this is probably one of those. It's a pretty well-known song. It's been covered by a lot of popular artists, probably most famously by Arlo Guthrie, and maybe Bette Midler did it, I think, also. Anyway, it's a great tune, and it is called Ukulele Lady. I'm having technical issues again. Yes, Ukulele Lady. Here we go. I saw the splendor of the moonlight on Honolulu Bay. There's something tender in the moonlight on Honolulu Bay. And all the beaches, they're full of peaches who bring their ukes along. And in the glimmer of the moonlight, they like to sing this song. If you like a ukulele lady, ukulele lady like a you. If you like to linger where it's shady, ukulele lady linger too. If you kiss a ukulele lady while you promise ever to be true, then she sees another ukulele lady fool around with you. Maybe she'll cry, maybe she'll sigh, maybe she'll find somebody else by and by to sing to, where it's cool and shady, where the tricky wicky wacky woo. If you like a ukulele lady, ukulele lady like a you, she likes you. She used to sing to me by moonlight on Honolulu Bay. Fond memories cling to me by moonlight, although I'm far away. They used to sing it like this. Someday I'm going where eyes are glowing on lips were meant to kiss, and see somebody in the moonlight and hear the song that I miss. If you like a ukulele lady, ukulele lady like a you. If you like to linger where it's shady, ukulele lady linger too. If you kiss that ukulele lady while you promise ever to be true, then she sees another ukulele lady fool around with you. Don't let her fool around with you. Don't let her fool around with you.
All right. That's amplified 100 times, Jimmy, if you can imagine that. Let me go under my desk here and see if I can get the amplifier to work on the applause.
I had forgotten about this one. This is an important one here. This is The lyrics were also written by Eddie DeLange, the guy who wrote the lyrics for Do You Know What It Means to Miss New Orleans? It's from about a little bit, a few years earlier, maybe 1937 or so. And it was also, the music was written by Frank Lesser, who wrote many Broadway
Sure.
musicals, Guys and Dolls and some others. And this is an odd song lyrically. At least my wife thinks so. And she's right, but that's okay. I don't mind. It's got an unusual way of putting a pretty nice sentiment. It is called I Wish I Were Twins. When I'm with you, I feel so small, right in my shell, I want to crawl. Wonder why I had to fall for you. I don't know. Why do you make my life so tough? It seems I can't love you half enough. You're so heavenly, much too much for me. I wish that I were twins, you great big babykins, so I could love you twice as much as I do. I'd have four loving arms to embrace you, four eyes to idolize you each time that I face you. With two hearts twice as true, what couldn't four lips do? When 4 ears hear you saying I'm yours. Oh, you great big babykins, I wish that I were twins, so I could love you twice as much as I do. Oh, yeah. Here I come now. Woo! Big babykins, I wish that I were twins, so I can love you twice as much as I do. I do.
Whoa, excellent. And I just want to say, Jimmy, that there's some great comments coming in on the Q&A, and you've got a fan on the...
I've got a what?
Sorry,
That's right.
got muted there. I say there's some great comments coming in, and you got a fan on the Upper West Side who's saying fantastic.
Oh, I know who that is. Rockapella. All right, let me get two more in here. I'm adding one in, so let me get one here.
Okay, go for it.
This one is this is one of my mom's favorite songs, and I never really saw myself trying to sing it, but it's so much fun to try. And this is a song written by two amateur songwriters from New York who actually were from San Francisco and were very homesick for it. So they wrote this song. It was originally pitched to Tennessee Ernie Ford, but he didn't want it. So it ended up in the hands of Tony Bennett and became the most iconic song, certainly about San Francisco and about almost any major city in the United States, except maybe New York with New York, New York by Sinatra. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. This is called I Left My Heart in San Francisco. The loveliness of Paris seems somehow sadly gay. The glory that was Rome is of another day. I've been terribly alone and forgotten in Manhattan. I'm going home to my city by the bay. I left my heart in San Francisco, high on a hill. It calls to me to be where little cable cars climb halfway to the stars. The morning fog may chill the air. I don't care, my love waits there. In San Francisco, above the blue and windy sea, when I come home to you, San Francisco, your golden sun will smile for me.
Whoa, that was a special one for the Marsh tip jar, I think.
There you go. Yes.
There you go.
A nod to San Francisco.
There you go.
All right. One more, and then that's going to be it for me.
Okay.
So this is the only song that is much newer than the others. In fact, this is from 2011. So weirdly that it would fit in with those. But I got to tell you, this is a song by Beck Hansen, who's better known as Beck, who's a popular musician. He's made all kinds of like hip hop stuff and rock stuff. He's a very, very multifaceted musician. He's probably not even 50 years old now. And he made an album of songs, a book called Song Reader, which was sheet music. He didn't record the songs himself. I've never heard of this before. He put all the songs in sheet music form, and they were all in the style of 100-year-old sheet music with the ornate cover art and the hokey advertisements inside. And the songs themselves sound very much like they are from the era of about, 1920s, 30s, Dust Bowl, Depression maybe. And this one, it fits. This is the favorite song of my wife, for some reason, that I play. It is called Now That Your Dollar Bills Have Sprouted Wings. I had $14 in my inside pocket and 22 more rolled up in my sleeve. There was cold hard cash lining up my jacket, but I did not have a dime when I did leave. When I got here I was carrying roses. When I had to go, I was only holding dirt. Well, I walked in here wearing a tuxedo. When I left, I was wearing nothing but an old t-shirt. Well, they say the times are hard, and don't I know it? I'm sleeping on a bed made up of nails. Well, I used to live way up in the penthouse. Now I can't even get a room in the county jail. Now that your dollar bills have sprouted wings, and I don't think they'll be coming round next spring. Just like birds of prey, they will take what's yours and fly away. Now that your dollar bills have sprouted wings. There they go. Well, I came to town on a pile of diamonds. Yes, I did. Now I'm leaving on a wheelbarrow of rust, with IOUs glued to my eyelids, just sitting here watching my safe rust. Well, watching all your coins roll down the gutter, yes they will, and all your champagne going down the sink. Is it something that you're trying to remember? Or is that string around your finger a wedding ring? Tell me the truth now. Now that your dollar bills have sprouted wings, and I don't think they'll be coming round next spring, just like birds of prey, they will take what's yours and fly away. Now that your dollar bills have sprouted wings. Now that your dollar bills have sprouted wings. Hey, bye-bye. And now that your dollar bills have sprouted wings.
Yay, Jimmy. Thank you
That's
so
it.
much. You know, I was sitting here thinking about something which makes me so happy, and it sort of goes back to a little bit to Ancan. We just did a survey. We're hoping to turn it into a poster for the American Urological Association. And one of the things that we asked was how many people who join our groups make friends outside of the group. And I make a lot of friends, and I'm so proud now to have you as one of my friends. But I'm thinking here about the fact that you and our good buddy on the Upper West Side both had surgery within a week of each other. Earlier this year, you had to have some follow-up surgery, and our friend had surgery, and they were right in that same time. And you guys are now friends. And this is just such a great side benefit of what comes out of our support groups, and it's wonderful. I'm thrilled about it.
There's no question, Rick. And I just want to say one thing as important as anything else that I could sing about or talk about or anything else is just a tiny, tiny bit about you. Because when I joined up on that support group, I didn't know if I wanted to be there. I didn't know if I wanted to be in any such group. I didn't really feel the driving need, but I wanted to be well informed. And I found not only a lot of information and a lot of support, but I found you. And you are just one of those rare people that I have I just loved right away and have come to love more since I've known you for many, many reasons.
Thanks. I wasn't fishing, audience. I really wasn't. I'm just so proud of some of these connections that we make through Ancan. Now, I've got one question for you, and I got one from the audience, and I got to tell you, you've got former students tuning in here. You've got a lady Amber from Seattle, your student Peter Bilvig. Man, they're coming. Yeah,
Bilvig's on.
Yeah, they're coming out of the woodwork here. Now, you and I have talked a lot about one way of coping, which we both appreciate, which is learning to live in the moment. And I just want to know how learning to live in the moment has been developed from your music and from your performing. Has that had an influence in teaching you how to live in the moment?
Well, yes, but I have to give a little bit of a more definitive shout out to the 12-Step Fellowship that I belong to, and I don't mind doing that because in that world, having come from a place that was very, very dark and should have, by all rights, ended me up dead or in jail. By the time that I was diagnosed with this prostate cancer, I had been gifted with many years of a transformed, joyous life that I could not imagine back when I was using drugs and drinking. And a big central piece of that is living for today, and for we can look back on our past, and we can We want to chronicle it, and we want to examine it so that we don't have to live it again. But we do that effectively and leave it be. And as far as the future, like I say, when I got to Ancan, when I got to this cancer diagnosis, one of the first things that I did was what anybody would do. Why me? Poor me. I'm the youngest of 4 children. I'm gonna leave everybody behind. I'm gonna leave my wife. I'm not going to be able to fulfill this and fulfill that, and you get very morose. But it passed very quickly, because I've been playing with house money, as they call it, for a very long time, and everybody of my ilk knows exactly what that means. And so, yes, the music has always been helpful. And of course, I should add that as I was growing up, a lot of my musical heroes, not the jazz ones, but the rock and rollers, a lot of them didn't make it very far because, just bad habits, bad luck. A lot of them are still around, and most of them are drinking kale smoothies and exercising now at their 70 and 75-year-old rock and roll life stage.
Yeah, that's another area where you and I see very much eye to eye in terms of the role of exercise in health and managing health issues, right, Jimmy?
Yes, I'm a big believer. I mean, there's nothing you can do that's better for your health and well-being. And when you get older, of course, it's pretty much non-negotiable anyway. So it wasn't something, thankfully, that I had to pick up and start thinking about when I got an illness. I was already on that one. Now, of course, I've had to watch my diet, which is for me much, much harder. I'm really suffering, and I want everybody to know how much I'm suffering through this caloric restriction. But in truth, I've been so privileged, privileged enough to be with you and the group, and privileged enough to have been able to live only an hour up the road is a major center of medical excellence that I was able to go and get treated with. My brother, my family, I have a physician and an epidemiologist in my immediate family. So and too many good friends and associates to mention, and all of them have meant a lot to me. And I'm just kind of bursting with gratitude all over again. It's a regular occurrence with me, I hope, and it is for most of the people I know.
So here's a way to give something back. There's a question that came in, which asks, what advice do you have for people who don't have a musical background and want to start exploring music as an outlet or a source of healing?
Well, there's never been a better time in the history of recorded music, for sure, to explore as deeply as you want to, because, I'm going to give the old guy litany here, but it used to be, like I tell my students, I tell a young kid like 9 years old, I said, hey, when I was your age, if they start to seem a little ungrateful, I say, when I was your age, how do you think I changed the channel on the TV? And they say, well, no. We had to get up, walk over to the TV, turn. One kid said, boy, I guess you better make sure that the volume is where you want it to be also. I said, absolutely you do. So it's the same thing with records. We had to go down to the record store. You had to fork over your money, and they weren't cheap. And when CDs came along, those were even much more expensive. So knowing somebody in the radio business was good. Knowing somebody who worked for a record store was good. Being rich was good. Having a lot of musician friends was good also. But now it's all free. It's essentially free. Now, if you call $10 a month for unlimited Spotify not free, I would argue that is essentially free. And YouTube is even freer. But the point is that if you know that you like a certain kind of music, the only advice I would give, and it seems like it's too much, to unfold, when you find something you like, and Spotify is a great model for this, because Pandora was the original proponent of this, where you would listen to something and then it would just play something that was, in the same neighborhood as it stylistically. Now, whenever you listen to a song on Spotify or an artist, they will have right there on the page, fans also like. So if you like a certain musician or you like a certain group or you like a certain style, you can sort of effortlessly browse everything that's in that niche. And I just think that's an incredible resource. So there's that, and then a lot of times it's a lot of visual stuff. It works. If you watch music documentaries, I'm for one, having grown up. You remember the Bee Gees, and
Yeah.
I'm not making a plug for this because I had nothing to do with it. But somebody said, "Have you seen the Bee Gees documentary? It's really good." Well, I have great reverence for the Bee Gees, and I'll be watching that, and many, many other music documentaries and live shows. One of the things that transformed me a little bit once I got deeper and forgot how many of these I had seen and how many I'd forgotten about. There was a documentary about the creation and the lifespan of Austin City Limits, which is a TV show on public broadcasting that's been in long and many years in existence. And all it is a show. There's no lights, a light show. There's no dry ice fog. There's no dancers. It's just a show, just like you would see if you went to a show. So those types of things, I don't know if that answers the question, but I think if you nose around and if something strikes you, that's the only thing I would say also. Don't worry about what anybody else says. If it's something you like and everybody says it stinks, you love it, it doesn't matter, If it's something that hits you then and makes you excited to hear it, or as my wife says, I played her some stuff she hadn't heard one night, and she said, I got a little tingle. I get this little tingle somewhere when I hear something that really is, it just hits me a certain way. And I love that tingle, and that song that gave me that tingle. I said, wow, okay.
Jimmy, I'm going to spring one on you.
Okay.
We've got about 3 minutes. Can we drop in another song in 3 minutes?
Oh,
Because
man.
everybody's asking.
Oh, God. One more song, huh?
Can you give us another quickie in 3 minutes to satisfy this this ravaging audience that wants to hear an encore?
Oh, my gosh. There must be something, right? There must be something. Let's see. Just a moment.
We got plenty of moments if we get another song.
Okay, here's my one more.
Okay.
I said the oldest song I was playing was Ukulele Lady, and now I'm going to outdo that with the oldest song that I know, the oldest jazz song I know, written in 1908, and it's distinguished by the fact that the guy who wrote the lyrics, Norworth, I forget his first name, he and his wife were a vaudeville songwriting team, and he wrote the words to a very well-known song that's played all summer long in the United States called "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." But he also, Jack Norworth, he also wrote this. It's a pretty well-known song. It is called "Shine On Harvest Moon."
Oh.
The night was mighty dark, so you could hardly see, for the moon refused to shine. Couple sitting underneath a willow tree, for love they've pined. The little maid was kind of afraid of darkness, so she said, I guess I'll go. Boy began to sigh, looked up at the sky, told the moon his little tale of woe. Oh, shine on, harvest moon, up in the sky. I ain't had no lovin' since January, February, June, or July. Well, snow time, it ain't no time to sing outdoors and spoon. So shine on, harvest moon, for me and my gal. I don't know why a boy should sigh when by his side is a girl that he loves so true. All you have to say is, will you be my bride? 'Cause I love you. Why should I be telling you this secret when I know that you can guess? Harvest moon will smile, shine down all the while, if the little girl should answer yes. Oh, shine on, harvest moon, up in the sky. Well, I ain't had no lover since January, February, June, or July. Well, snow time, it ain't no time to stay outdoors and spoon. So shine on, harvest moon, for me and my gal, for me and my gal, for me and my gal.
Thank you, Jimmy. Jimmy,
Yes.
that song always makes me laugh. Do you remember Alan Sherman?
Yeah.
You remember his version, Shine On Harvey Bloom?
Oh, no. It's before my time.
Before your time. Jimmy, thank you so much. This has been an honor and a thrill, and I know everybody's enjoyed this tremendously, and fantastic. I don't know what else to say.
It was a thrill for me too. I really enjoyed it.